We are the second oldest conference in the nation, entering our 107th season next year. The commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference is in his 25th season. He's the longest tenured commissioner in the history of the league. To my right is Doug Elgin. He's led the conference to national prominence, unprecedented growth, and at this time I'd like to introduce Commissioner Doug Elgin for his remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a privilege for me to be here on this historic occasion, and I certainly want to thank Father Michael Garanzini, President of Loyola University, and Grace Calhoun, Director of Athletics, and the entire university community for the great warm welcome we've received today and on our campus visit earlier in the month. We've called all of you together this morning to announce that Loyola University has accepted an invitation to become a full member of the Missouri Valley Conference effective July 1st, 2013. Rambler student athletes will be full participants in our MVC-sponsored sports beginning with the fall season, and we're really looking forward to having this great university integrated into the Missouri Valley. We have a number of institutional representatives who are here. League staff is here in full force. I can't tell you how pleased they are to be welcoming Loyola into the fold. We do have our conference president. She serves as the faculty athletics representative at Drake University. And I'd like to have Renee Chestnut stand, please. You know, it's really important to all of us that this is a big deal to you, because it's really a big deal to us. And I can't imagine any institution having a classier setup or a warmer embrace of what's going to be a tremendous new partnership and a new era in athletics for Loyola and for the Missouri Valley. When we learned in March that Creighton would be leaving our league, joining the Big East, there was no sense of panic. I'm going to say this, and I don't want it to sound like I'm sucking up to our presidents, because I report to our 10 university presidents, but I was proud of their leadership. They went about their business looking at strategic planning, options that we had in our membership. We had some very good options, I must say, but I think we've chosen the university that is the right fit, absolutely the right fit for the Missouri Valley. What really impressed all of us, and I say this not solicitously, but I think what impressed us was the leadership here at the university. Father Mike, Grace Calhoun, others in university administration. There's no question that there is an energy and a momentum here, a can-do spirit. When Father Mike took over the presidency a decade or so ago, there were some challenges. I think he's faced a lot of those, along with the great leadership here at the university. This is a university on the move. There's been a tremendous investment in facilities. There has been a significant expansion in staff, which is very important. You're not going to get traction unless you have the right people in place, and Grace has certainly done a tremendous job bringing in new coaches, strengthening her athletic department team. And I think the plan to increase financial support to athletics is critical as Loyola steps into our league. It's going to be a tougher sledding for them in many ways, for all of you student athletes. But I think our brand will raise the profile of this institution, and the fact that we're in the Chicago marketplace is going to do wonders for the Missouri Valley Conference. We're here in part today to tell our story. This is about announcing Loyola as a new member of the conference, but I think it's important that we give all of you a better idea of who we are and what we bring to Loyola Athletics. We want to first show a short video that kind of flashes through the history of our league, which is obviously over a century old. I want to sell a little bit of the sizzle with this video. It focuses on men's basketball, and I want to tell you a little bit about the video. The voiceover, the voice track, was performed by Barry Henson, who is now the Southern Illinois basketball coach in his second tour of duty in our league. He was previously at Missouri State. And the script of his voice follows that of Herb Brooks, the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey coach, in a speech that he gave the American hockey team before they took the ice to play the Russians, the greatest hockey team in the world at that time. And I think you'll get a feel for what we think is special about our league with this video.
Listen to me. This one moment, when the season began, each and every one of us rising to this point, taking our game to the next level.
Panthers win! Oh, baby!
This championship, it's about your commitment, our commitment, a commitment to our fans, to ourselves, each and every one of you. Great moments come from great opportunities. We play them 8 times, they might win 7. Not this game.
Rico Hill goes to the left.
Not today.
To Dan, layup, did it! They did it by 1.
In the backcourt, now to Joe, ahead for Ali. Ali's open, 3, kaboom!
Final seconds, Panthers win! Down goes Kansas! Down goes Kansas!
11 Kansas turnovers in the first half. Franklin. Oh, kiss! He got it! The mismatch and a good read. How about that? Ruffin with the dump down. They don't have to have a 3. Taylor for the win. You were meant to be here this afternoon.
Play steal by Burke. And throws it down with the right hand zone. The course lane, half the Phillips, 3-pointer bang! Johnson goes in the hands of Kuznar. Ryan Martin for the dunk! The Shockers are going to the Sweet 16!
Wilson, 3-pointer on the other end. Wilson for the lane, for 2 more.
Can't use it. Over the shoulder to Jermaine. The lady, they're going to put it up and down. And he's doing it all. A 3 outside kick. Good! And Williams with the Sweet 16, baby. Southern's there. Southern's there. Vince goes to the goal and put it in. Shot clock expiring. Got it. Jamal Tatum.
Mitchell off to the races. Oh! This is your time. Ellis. Catch. 3 is good again. What a take it.
Oh, baby. Cinderella going to the Sweet 16. And she'll be wearing purple and gold.
The question that we asked ourselves at the beginning of March when we knew that we were going to have a change in our membership is who will write the next chapter. Wichita State did that. So advancing to the Final Four, tremendous moment for our league. And I think I want to first explain that we showed only men's basketball highlights there because we had the basic video on hand. Could have been women's basketball. We had 2 Final Four trips for women's basketball. We've had Sweet 16 success in women's volleyball. We've had men's soccer teams, 2 of our current members that have advanced to the Elite 8. We've had NCAA champions in our Olympic sports. And what I'm trying to tell you here is that we have a very broad-based excellence in our league that includes all team sports and most of our Olympic sports. You know, I want to also give you a short walk through a PowerPoint presentation here, give you a broader understanding of what we bring to the Loyola University. Okay, we're proud of our history and tradition. As Mike said early, the second oldest conference in the NCAA, only the Big Ten is older. We were founded 3 years after the NCAA was formed, and our original 7, our charter members, included Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, Iowa State, Nebraska, Drake, which is a charter member and still a member of the Missouri Valley, and Washington University in St. Louis, which is now a Division III institution. We take pride in the stability that we have in our league, the continuity and stability, and that's one of the things that we felt very comfortable about with Loyola. Loyola has never been looking for that right fit. They've never hopped conferences. They've been in one conference in their entire existence. That meant a lot to us. Started with the Midwestern cities, morphed into the Midwestern Collegiate, and now the Horizon League. We're proud of the facilities in our league. Our cities and our campuses have invested $900 million in competition venues and support facilities for basketball and other sports, and these are just a couple of pictures of those facilities. These pictures tell a great story about our league, and we have great attendance, and you'll find that in every one of our markets, every one of our member schools, people care very deeply, not only about basketball, but about other sports. Our tournament in St. Louis, which is the next slide here, is also another event that draws great crowds. Arch Madness is a very strong national brand. Obviously, anyone in college athletics has heard that term, not to be confused with March Madness, but this tips off March Madness nationally. We've had great attendance. This year we had 71,000 fans over the 5 sessions of the tournament. In 2007, we had back-to-back session crowds, sold-out sessions of 22,612 people. We have great national exposure, a TV package that included last year over 40 games on Fox networks, national networks. We had 75 of our live events that were televised on ESPN's family of networks, ESPN, ESPNU, 2, and ESPN3, their internet platform. Again, just more on to illustrate the great success. The Shockers, of course, went to the Final Four this year. Sports Illustrated's cover said, "Shocking the world." We weren't shocked. You know, we knew that they could play with any teams in America. None of the games that they won were upsets, in our opinion. Ohio State was down 20 points and scratched their way back into it. But without doubt, had Wichita State won the national championship, I don't think people would have really considered that an upset, those of us who are in the conference. One other thing, Creighton and Wichita State were our 2 NCAA tournament teams this year. We've had 9 Sweet 16 teams in the last 14 years in men's basketball. Creighton has never been to a Sweet 16, and I'm not saying this to disparage Creighton, but to emphasize the balance in our league. And Wichita State, in 23 years in St. Louis, has never won the Missouri Valley Tournament. We've always had great coaches in our league. These are just some of the great coaches who have dotted the history. Cheryl Burnett at Missouri State, 2 Final Four appearances, and Gene Stevenson, one of the winningest coaches in baseball history, are just 2 of the faces you see there. We've always had great talent in our league. It is a conference that has a long, long history of excellence for its student athletes. Here are just a couple. Oscar Robertson, generally regarded as the greatest college player of all time. Upper right is Jackie Stiles, recently hired as an assistant coach at Missouri State, the all-time NCAA career scoring leader even to this point. Joe Carter at the top, who won the 1993 World Series with a home run, and no mention of Larry Bird on there, another great household name that we just didn't have room to put on the slide. We love Larry. We didn't overlook him. I won't get into the details on this sheet, but we've had, again, great success. Ryan Howard, upper right, a National League MVP with the Phillies. Again, you got the 2007 Masters champion on the lower right, Drake golfer Zach Johnson, and again, great athletes in all of our sports. Almost every one of our team sports perennially has multiple bids to the NCAA tournament. Financial overview, you can see the large blue section. That is the NCAA basketball pool distribution. We are a basketball-centric league. Don't make any mistake about that. That's been the lead horse, so to speak, in our long history. But our other programs are equally well supported by our institutions. The financial overview here shows the average annual distribution that we've paid out to our members after we pay our conference office operating expenses. It's averaged around $325,000 over the past 5 or 6 years. Student-athlete academic recognition, we walk the walk. You have 9 big academic excellence programs that are listed here. And again, we really put an emphasis on academics in our athletic programs and in the conference. We sponsor 18 championship sports in the Missouri Valley. I believe that Loyola has sponsorship of 13 or 14 of those events, which is about middle of the pack in our league. Loyola does not have baseball, men's tennis, or women's swimming, and there are probably 4 or 5 institutions that sponsor that number or fewer that match up with our MVC championship sports. We had a very significant and thorough review of our championships program in 2012. That is a real focus for our league, running championships. Our staff has hosted 3 Final Fours, 2 women's and 1 men's Final Four in St. Louis. We've hosted 9 other men's regional events, and we take great pride in the quality of the experience for the student athletes, the fans, and the media with our events. Again, a big emphasis in our league is television. We're entrepreneurial in a sense. We produce our own package of 36 to 40 games a year on Fox Midwest. We actually hire the talent, hire the trucks, and sell the advertising to pay for those games. And we've also spent probably $750,000 to enhance production of video streaming of events on our campuses. We are redoing, we are starting another strategic planning process as we speak. This is just an excerpt from that. Again, we emphasize student athletes, sportsmanship, and again, the student athlete experience, and these are available in the handouts in the back of the room. Who will write the next chapter? Again, we're inviting Loyola to be a part of that. Looking forward very much to the new era with a Chicago-based school, and this is a great university. We're so proud that you're joining our membership today. And with that, I'll turn it over to Father Garanzini.
Just 3 brief points that I'd like to make here. First, you saw the presentation by Commissioner Elgin. I want to thank Commissioner Elgin for choosing us, also for the way you've handled this entire event for us. It's been very professional, and it's not surprising to me because my first point is it's the quality of the league that we're joining. This Missouri Valley League is one of the better leagues in terms of stability, in terms of leadership, and most of all, what was attractive to us was their respect for the student who is also an athlete, the academics as well as the intercollegiate aspect of and athletic aspect of their programs. That's very important to us here at Loyola. We see athletics as an intimate part, an important part of the entire student's academic experience. The way they grow as leaders on court, off court is very important to us. So that was the most attractive thing about the league. And you heard about the stability of the league, and you know about the stability of the league and its great history of coaches and athletes. So philosophically, we're in sync here, I think. The second point I want to make is Loyola's spent over $300 million to improve the facilities of this campus in the last 6 years. We've done that first by starting with academics. We got ourselves a new library, we got some new labs and so on, and then we moved, I think appropriately, into the student life realm. We've been improving residence halls, we've opened up a new Damon Student Center, and we've invested in athletics because we know that this is an important part of the program. Hiring Grace Calhoun has been a real blessing for us. I think we've benefited tremendously by Grace's leadership. She came in and from the very first days she was here, she began making decisions. Some of the decisions were tough decisions, but we have entrusted new resources to her, and she's used them wisely. So our tremendous respect for her and for people like Porter have allowed us to feel very comfortable about making more investments. And the last thing that I want to say is I think we bring something to the league as well. We have over 100,000 alums, number one. We live in a great city, and the Chicago market is known for its loyalty. While it's a tough market because there's so much competition for people's time and attention and many other athletic venues, that people can participate in, we think that we bring that Chicago market, and we're looking forward to staying in a league that's close to us, we're surrounded by great teams, and looking forward to a wonderful future. So thank you very much, Commissioner.
Good morning. What a great day to be a Rambler. I'm gonna ask for a little help, because while this is a press conference, it's also a pep rally for us. And if we can have our only members of the Spirit Squad not in class right now, and Lou, we need you to come down to help us out. We're going to do a quick exercise, because you see we have lots of out-of-town friends here from Missouri Valley Schools. We also have many members of media markets that Loyola Valley Schools are in, so we need to show them a little Rambler pride. So I'm going to have everyone stand up for a quick moment. All right, stand up. Okay. We have our Valley friends on this side. So over to the left, this side is going to say Valley. Over on the right, this side, are going to be Ramblers. And we're going to do this 3 times. We'll start with Ramblers. We'll do Valley. Got it, Lou? And Spirit Squad. Okay. And 3. Ready? On this side, Ramblers, Valley, Ramblers, Valley, Ramblers, Valley. Excellent. All right, give yourself a hand. And Commissioner Elgin, I promise you we're even more impressive at 7 in the evening than we are at 11 in the morning. Well, a sincere thank you to those who made today possible, and there are many. First of all, Father Garanzini and his leadership team, Dr. Rob Kelly, Tom Kelly, Bill Laird, John Pelissaro, I see John Heitzelman back there, Kelly Shannon, Todd Ricketts from our athletics board. So many people who have given so much and who have made the commitment to making Loyola's experiences the most exceptional student experiences possible, and for understanding that having strong spirit and a sense of community are made that much more possible by having a thriving intercollegiate athletics program. To the Missouri Valley Conference, especially the Council of Presidents for giving us this wonderful invitation, to Commissioner Doug Elgin, one of the class acts in the industry, and our new peers, so many who have joined us today, for all believing in that bright future that Loyola sees for itself. To our student athletes, our coaches, our Loyola community and fans, we could not have done this without you. You have laid the groundwork to make this move possible. And to the Horizon League, as Commissioner Elgin said, Loyola was a founding member in 1979. It's been our family for the last 34 years. We are very grateful for the values we've shared, the friendships we've built, and the memories that will always be a part of us. But the Missouri Valley Conference is truly the perfect fit for Loyola. The institutions have storied histories, strong rivalries, respected brands, and we didn't take lightly the geographical integrity at a time where there seems to be so little of it in college sport. Well, Loyola also has a storied history of its own, and has met Valley schools in competitions regularly over the past decades. However, it's less about the last 50 years and more about the next 50. Loyola will be a strong and valued member of the Missouri Valley Conference. Beyond being a world-class university and a world-class market, we're aggressively building programs to return them to national competitiveness. We have a new lineup of talented coaches, including former Valley head coach and current Rambler head men's basketball coach Porter Moser, and a new addition on our women's basketball side, Cheryl Swoops, and so many other talented coaches who have quickly rebuilt Loyola programs or are doing fantastic things. And I have to give a special shout out to our men's volleyball program. They're the only squad that will not be part of the Valley, and they're still here today. What a bunch of class acts. Thank you. And then one more little shout out, they're beginning their conference championship this evening, so y'all can come back at 7 p.m. and watch that game as well. We have new facilities, and for those of you who haven't seen them, I encourage you to stay after the press conference and tour around. They're truly impressive. But most importantly, we have tremendous student athletes. They win at Loyola, but more importantly, they're given the education and taught the values to go forth and set the world on fire. Onward to victory, and go Ramblers!
I didn't really mind any activity that Grace had lined up as long as she didn't line up a one-on-one game between me and Cheryl Swoops. That'd have been a disaster. For the past 2 years on the job at Loyola as the men's head basketball coach, I've walked many recruits around this campus, and I've had the same mantra, the same thing that I've said to many parents and kids. As we look around at the buildings, the new facilities, the beautiful lake, I said the same thing. There's never been a better time to be at Loyola. Sitting here today with an unbelievably powerful brand and respected brand of the Missouri Valley Conference, I can say even more emphatically, there's never been a better time to be at Loyola. When I started this journey for my personal self 2 years ago, Father sat me in his office downtown and he said, Porter, for the past 10 years, my first 10 years on this job, it has been my commitment to make the academic facilities, the faculty, the traditions, the student life of Loyola first class, top notch. That has been my priority. And you can tell the accomplishments he's accomplished in those first 10 years. And he said to me, Porter, now it's athletics' turn. And that was exciting. It was exciting to see the partnership when we started with Grace, and it was exciting to see his vision and enthusiasm throughout this process to go in the Missouri Valley Conference. What the Missouri Valley Conference is getting is they are getting a profile of student athletes, of academics and character that are extraordinary. Last 2 years, I've seen these student athletes in the morning training at all hours, at night all hours studying. Truly, the academic and the character profile is unbelievable here at Loyola. In 1985-86, I graduated at Bennett Academy High School in the suburbs here. At that moment in time, I went to Creighton University in the Valley. At that moment in time, Creighton was dead last in the conference. They had been to one NCAA tournament the previous decade. At that exact moment, Loyola was in the Sweet 16 that same year. And when I went to Creighton, there was a feel on that campus. There was a feel of something great was about to happen. There was a buzz going on. 11 NCAA tournaments in the past 24 years. That same feeling among the student athletes, among the university administration, the coaches, that exact feeling is happening right now at Loyola, and I lived both of them. To the student athletes here in class, from one former player who played in this league and coached in this league, let's get ready for the awesome challenge. What an awesome challenge in front of us. It challenges of an awesome conference, rivalries, student bodies, traditions, institutions, and we belong. We definitely belong, and we will be ready. So I challenge all the student athletes here, our student athletes of the men's basketball, let's get ready for this awesome challenge. I look back, Loyola has had tradition. You can see they've won a national championship. They've been to the Sweet 16. We have tradition. We lost a little culture. But it's time to be great again. When I was in the Valley, the 4 years I coached in the Valley, 4 teams went to the NCAA tournament. 3, 4. That's awesome for a conference. It's time for the Valley to be great again, and Wichita State proved that. As you saw, 9 teams went to the Sweet 16. For Loyola, it's time to be great again in all sports. And I've seen the extraordinary student athletes at this school, and we're ready for the challenge, and I'm excited, and I know you are too, as we enter the Missouri Valley Conference. Thank you.
We will now open it up to questions from the members of the media. If you could please raise your hand and we'll call on you to ask your question. There will be a couple of individuals with wireless microphones going around. If you could please introduce yourself before asking your question. We'll now open it up.
I'm Todd Efferman with the Southern Illinoisan down in Carbondale. My question's for Doug. Doug, you know the Chicago market's it's a great population, but it's a pro sports town, it's a college sports town. How do you get a bigger voice in Chicago with the Valley and with this move?
Well, I think it's important that you win, and I think as Loyola's program is integrated into the Missouri Valley and as they become competitive, hopefully contend for championships, maybe win championships, I think you'll get Chicago's attention, the media, you'll get the attention of the alumni. We have alumni and fans up here who have been bugging me for years to bring in one of the local schools as a member, and I think you're going to see a lot of different colors in this facility in the first couple of years in particular and down the road as our teams come in here and play. And I can just tell you this is going to be a tremendous home court. We're going to help Loyola as much as Loyola is going to help us.
Dave, right there.
This is Dave Reynolds, Peoria Journal-Star. This is for Dr. Calhoun. There have been references to the investment made in facilities, athletic facilities here. I wonder if you could specify some of those, and I guess starting with this arena.
Absolutely. The first 2 phases of our Student Life Reimagine campaign are the building that we're in and the building next door. Our Norville Center for Intercollegiate Athletics houses all of our locker rooms for our teams, our coaches and administrative offices, a gorgeous weight room, training room, academic center, other facilities. Obviously, for those of you who were in this arena, 2 short years ago, it looked like a high school gym, and now we've got this wonderful state-of-the-art arena. We've done some renovations out at Hoyne Field for our softball facility and our soccer park, building those into legitimate Division I collegiate facilities. And we've got some training space needs, and those are things we're actively in conversations to address. Of course, the challenge of being in Chicago is we're an urban landlocked university, so space is at a premium, but we're going to work through those issues and get some great training spaces as well.
Take a question in the back from online.
This is a question for Doug from Harry Schrader in St. Louis. Was replacing a Creighton, a private school, with a private school a factor in the President's Council decision?
I think it was a factor, I wouldn't think it was a very large factor because we've never really been divided by public and private school issues in our league. I personally thought it would be best if we had that, and I never really did say that, I don't think, in the search for a new member, but I think what was our greatest selling point, I think, the history and tradition, both the Missouri Valley and Loyola have played significant roles in college basketball and in the sport of basketball when you consider James Naismith and the game that changed the game and everything else that's happened down through the years. I think it's a really good match of long-time athletic excellence at both schools. And, again, as Porter said, it's time for Loyola to be great again, and the Missouri Valley with Wichita State's run puts us in a position where we're much more on the radar of college basketball fans everywhere.
Fred
Mitchell from the Chicago Tribune. This question is for you, Coach. What does this switch mean in your mind as far as the type of player you will be able to attract to Loyola, the type of athlete?
Well, obviously we have a certain profile we want to recruit here in terms of the whole student athlete. But I think the brand of the Missouri Valley is very powerful. And we've been selling so many good things, and it's not a knock on the Horizon League. It's a very, very good league. I think the brand regionally with the Valley in these areas, with a number of Illinois states, Illinois State, Southern Illinois, Bradley, specifically Indiana states, regionally it has a high brand name. And I just think it ups our profile. I think whatever conference we're going into, we still feel we're going to go after a high-level student athlete and attract them to come to Loyola because I think Loyola has a lot to offer. And academically, location, everything. And the Valley's just one more powerful brand that's behind us when we recruit.
Well, he took the question right out of my mouth. I was going to ask the same thing. LaRue Martin, I work for UPS, alumni. I was back here in 1968. Back in the day, we had a number of athletics coming from the Chicago area, okay? And with this conference now, I can see it moving on and building this school back up again because back in the day, at the old Chicago Stadium, we used to have the double headers with Notre Dame, Wichita State, Bradley, and all those teams. With this conference on, do you think it's going to help with the recruiting states? Because we have a lot of athletes here in Chicago. A number of good young men, young ladies too, that are doing very well in academics plus sports. You think that's going to be a big help?
Absolutely. There's no question. And it already has. Thank goodness I have a big unlimited phone plan, minutes, thanks to Grace. And it's been nonstop with student athletes talking about the Valley. And you really get the true response is when you hear their response. We can say it all we want that it's going to make a difference. Their response back to you, that's where you really get the true message of the impact. And it's been unbelievably positive. And we're excited about recruiting in Chicago. We have first public league player in over a decade, Milton Doyle, is sat out this year, will be eligible this year. And there's been no secret since I took over here 2 years ago that the number one priority is the Chicago and Chicago surrounding areas and the Illinois. And that's not going to change, and it's only going to enhance with the Valley.
Seth.
Seth Gruen, Chicago Sun-Times. Doug, having toured a number of universities, was Loyola's financial commitment to athletics a big determining factor?
I would have to say that it was. I think we felt very clearly that there was a commitment here. In the snapshot in time, maybe the level of competitiveness here was not ideal, but we know that Father is not going to allow athletics to be anything but absolutely competitive in our league. I think that was a big factor, quite honestly.
This is for Doug. The addition of Loyola, how does that help in the clearances for Comcast Chicago?
I think it helps a lot. Now there's such clutter with pro sports on television. You're sitting next to the guy who really should answer this, but I'll try my best. I think it helps us. I think it'll open more programming windows. We'll certainly try the best we can with our syndicated package, our Fox package that is aired on Comcast, to put not only Loyola games, but games from our package in programming windows where the Blackhawks and the Bulls and other area product isn't playing. It'll help.
Any other questions? Fred?
For Dr. Calhoun, can you give us a general sense of both the financial commitment and enhancements that you anticipate, perhaps from the 100,000 alums of Loyola who might be bolstered by this news?
Absolutely. I felt great from day one in talking to Father Garanzini about the position that this was going to be a true partnership. And Father has certainly helped us with some seed money to get things going, but it's been clear that the improvements, the enhancements are not coming on the backs of students, that we're doing all we can to really generate external revenue streams. It's going to take all of us. Fundraising, we're ramping up, sponsorships, ticket sales. I think the going into the Valley and filling this arena is going to help us. So we're doing all we can to really generate those external revenue streams while understanding to have a solid experience for not just our student athletes, but our entire student body. It's an investment in student life, much as our new student center and all the other enhancements that are being made. In terms of where money's going, operating budgets are a big piece of it. We know that whether it be travel budgets, recruiting budgets, equipment, apparel, those are three areas that we certainly knew from the start would have to be enhanced. We're now having the full complement of coaches. We had a lot of full-time first assistants, but part-time second, and we committed, knowing that our coaches are our mentors for student athletes and how important that one-on-one time is to getting those full complements of coaches. So we're trying to put that money straight back in where it's most going to benefit our student athletes and enhance the student experience for all students.
Any other questions from members of the media? Okay, thank you, everyone. We will, if any members of the media want to have one-on-one interviews with Commissioner Elgin, please see Mike Kern from the Missouri Valley staff. If anyone wants a one-on-one with Coach Moser or Dr. Calhoun, please see myself. We'll be happy to accommodate you. Thank you, everyone, for coming.